Hi everyone, New England Gardening here on this May 1st, 2023. And it's a nice, partly cloudy day, although it's starting to cloud up some more here. But we just got through from significant rain event. I wasn't paying attention to the weather, and then before I know it, it was just pouring out just constantly. But anyways, it seems like the grass is greened up overnight, and I just wanted to make a quick video here on this Roxbury Russet that I planted. I think this is the third year, and I was getting worried. I was asking myself, is it possible to have a graft that does not flower? I don't think that's possible. I don't know what they use for rootstock, but even the rootstock would eventually become an apple. Could be a crab apple. But anyways, I digress. I've got flowers. So I'm thinking that the tree might have been 2 years old when I received it, because online it says it could be 5 years before an apple tree will produce fruit. So my only worry is now it finally dawned on me that do I have a pollinizer? Now I've got a columnar, I think, is that how you pronounce it? Apple tree. I think it's called Sentinel. And it bloomed earlier than this, maybe by a week. This had buds, but they weren't open. I was getting worried that I should probably search for a pollinator online. Unless someone has a crabapple tree near me. Well, we'll see if we get any apples off this year. I thought this was like the only branch right here, but I've got a number of blooms or buds forming, opening up today after this rain. And I haven't noticed any bees on this yet. But they're flying and seem to be bringing in pollen, and I think the numbers have increased. I see a lot of bees on the ground there. That might not be a good thing. If I have any K-wing diseases or something. But yeah, I don't have an extractor for those frames. Like I could just use gravity, cutting the wax and letting it drain out. But the apricot trees here, I'm not certain if, I don't know when these bloom. I don't see any buds on them. It escapes me when I expect to see blooms on these. But I think you get, those buds get killed on a late frost. If this hasn't broken dormancy, I think it still should have buds on it. I just got back from the grocery store and I noticed a lot of trees on people's landscaping. That they got a neighbor that Japanese maple, like 90% of it is dead. Rose, dead. This here made it, and I have to make a trellis for that. My butterfly bush, I don't think this one over here made it, and that was surprising. And even Russian sage, which I thought was pretty hardy, it barely made it. So I have to take a saw to this and cut it back. But I did notice right here some green coming up, but this here is dead. So that minus 10 degree day we had with, I think the wind chill was in the minus 30s. It was windy in addition to the cold. Killed a lot of people's plants. Yeah, the pomegranate didn't make it. I don't know what I was thinking on that, because it's like mine. It's 10 degrees or 6 degrees, I think, is the hardiness reported for that, but it was minus 10. So unless, I was wanting to take that in. Blueberries have no problem whatsoever surviving New England winters. I don't even see any dieback on any of these. Need to figure out what I'm going to do with these. Strawberries. Interesting with strawberries is the plants, the runners that made it to the ground, they had no problem surviving. I don't think I would buy these again. They dry out too much unless they had an automatic watering system set up for these. It's just too much to water, keep up with. I need to get this asparagus into the raised bed, I think. That's about all that's left that survived. But here's the Scarlet Sentinel, I guess it's called. Oh, there's a bumblebee on that. Oh, there's a honeybee. Okay, he's doing their job. So hopefully if they make their way over to the Roxbury Russet, which I just Googled, reported came to Massachusetts 1635, one of the oldest or first apple tree varieties. I don't know if there were any native apple trees. I never thought about reading up on that. We probably had crab apple, but maybe not native apple trees in the U.S. I don't know. In the New World. But yeah, here's one of my bees probably doing its job. This tree just gets, I say this every year, I just let it go. It gets packed with apples. And then I think, because it happened during the night, and every single apple had chunks taken out of it. They just didn't concentrate on one. I'm thinking rats got to it, which my town has had a problem with recently. Yeah, so this is the barrel I had the pomegranate in. Did not make it. I forget what this is, but it looks like it reseeded itself. I think that's the thing that had the blue flowers on it. I don't know where the tag is. I saw a tag around here somewhere. I brought these out, and they got sunburned because I didn't transition. Vermillionaire, supposed to be a good attractor for hummingbirds. Never noticed hummingbird on it. This here you have to bring in. This is African basil, and you can only propagate it through cuttings. Got a couple on the windowsill, and yeah, bees love this. And that's it for the garden. I'm just going over to Home Depot now. I want to get some, it's already too late. I want to get some snow peas. I was going to order some from Johnny Seeds, but I want to wait another week for them to arrive. Oh, another thing is, all that rain we've had, people out there that have bees, even in the springtime, this is sort of an accidental resource, water resource for the bees. This is a floor mat for my car, and you can see the bees here. Love this for water. I'm wondering if they need the water to soften up crystallized honey, if they use the honey. I'm not certain if we have a strong nectar flow going on right now, but they've been hitting this water here. I actually filled it up the other day before we had all that rain. Yeah, doesn't look like much, but look at the tulips. I keep on saying I'm going to move these, but they're pretty good with the contrast to the dark green lawn. Put fences around them for the rabbits. Keep the rabbits off. But yeah, got dandelions. I never really see the bees hitting dandelions. I don't know if there's a certain period that they're attracted, the bees are attracted to them, when they start producing nectar or whatever. Yeah, just a quick walk around. Just wanted to show this Roxbury russet. I actually pruned it. Not certain I knew what I was doing, but I think it had it had like 2 leaders, and so I took one off up here at the top. It was sort of split at the top, even though that one now is kind of crooked, but nothing's perfect in nature anyways. I probably don't need these anymore. I know there's controversy on whether you need to stake a tree or not, but it's probably a good idea when you first put it in. Got some foxglove that I started from seed last year. That's come up. Hopefully I get some nice spikes off of those, flower spikes. I think the hummingbirds like those tubular flowers too. And of course, the bee balm, Jacob Klein. Interesting, this one's really spotty. This is Jacob Klein. Although there's a lot of smaller shoots coming up now. And it's actually worked its way into the rows. I'm wondering if that's because when I dug that hole, I put a lot of topsoil in there, fresh bagged humus topsoil. This did the same with this one, and this one is taken off. This is Jacob Klein. I actually have the tag here, and there's a, what's it called, raspberry wine or something like that, and I think hummingbirds are individual maybe, and when I had the raspberry wine, I don't notice the hummingbirds hitting that as much as the Jacob Klein. I don't know if it's just the color. It's a little bit more of a, I don't know what you call that color, burgundy or something like that. But yeah, some more foxglove. And this magnolia. I wonder if I still have a chance. I was wondering if you could air layer magnolia. Cut that back last year with the, I was contemplating taking it out completely, but another grape seemed to have survived the cold no problem. Candace, seedless grape. Took out a bunch of grapes. I have another grape here. Okay. This here is Black Madeira, UC Davis fig tree. So maybe I could put that in the larger imitation wine barrel for this year. See if I get better productivity out of it. And this, instead of this little bucket here, I'd have to dig it up at the end of the year though. I'm not certain if this grape has survived. I don't see any buds swelling on it, although it does have buds. But it's good to know though if it was not hardy enough, but it's also different than being in the ground. You still get that residual heat and protection from having it in the ground. But as you can see, that apple tree is just packed with flowers. Nice show in the springtime. So I was just trying to figure out what this plant is, but I think this was part of some seeds that I planted, bee-friendly plants or bee-attracted plants from a pack, and really early blooms on these, and the bees are all over them. Well, they were a second ago. So very fragrant, especially if you put your nose up to them, but I imagine if I had more of these, it'd be really fragrant. So this is an early producing plant here, and it seems to be providing something for the bees. Get something on his pollen sacs, or her pollen sacs. So I had planted a bunch of echinacea. I don't think a single one of them survived. Not agastache, not echinacea. This is echinacea that I purchased. I thought the hummingbirds would be interested in it. It's a small red flower instead of the taller standard echinacea purple flower. So I got 1, 2, 3. Those survived. I think this is just, I don't know why I put this here. This is just a daisy, I think. Yellow daisy. And this might be an agastache. Not certain what that is. And I should be getting some nice flower spikes on these red hot pokers. So here's another honeybee hanging out, just hanging out on this yellow one. Whatever these are, it's a nice cold hardy New England plant. I think it was in a bee seed mix from Johnny's Seeds. Bee feed mix, maybe is that what it's called? Going to have to, I don't know, maybe I can divide this. If it's seeding, it doesn't look like it produced any seeds. This here I'm hoping will survive. I put this in the ground a couple of weeks ago. It's like a miniature lilac, and I neglected it for the longest time. Just left it in its original like 2-inch pot. But it survived the winter, surprisingly, and it's had a dieback, but it has some sprouts here that are coming up. So yeah, I don't know what this is, but it's really attracting bees. And it looks nice. Really early on in the spring. Well, let me end it there. Headed to Home Depot, always during rush hour, and see if I can get some seed packs. It's the days like this that all of a sudden their garden centers open up or fill up with people that get the planting bug. On a day like today, oh no, now it's mostly cloudy. They're bringing in a lot of pollen. But let me end it there. Rambling on. This is New England Gardening on this May 1st, 2023. I almost said 2021. Thanks for watching.